Welcome back, guys. Today we have a OU match for a tournament that's going on in the Discord. My opponent is Google Shock, big man things. My opponent brought the heat both matches, and I must say, they were damn well close. Very close. But let's get into it. So, straight off the team preview, I'm running Bandit Shifu, Bulky Rotom, Bulky Rillaboom. This is actually max HP, defense, U-turn, taunt, knockoff, stab move with Grassy Glide, running a Specs Jirachi, Focus Sash lead Mamoswine with rocks, and a bulky Togekiss. My opponent has some serious threats on his team. You see the standard core, Fairy Dragon Steel, with probably Life Orb, Cinderace. Cinderace with Libero is such a threat these days. And that ability has made that Pokemon so much more better. It was good in the beginning, but now Libero took that Pokemon to another level. So let's get right into the battle. Shaq leads off with Cinderace as I come out with Urshifu. He's probably thinking I'm Scarf since most people run Urshifu with the Choice Scarf. So I'm here looking at his team thinking, okay, let's just get out of here with a U-turn and then work from there. As I go for my U-turn, he switches out into a Slowbro. This should take a good amount of damage from this banded U-turn, which it does, probably about 45%. And then I switch out, thinking here between Rotom, Rillaboom or Jirachi. Jirachi is a Specs Jirachi with Thunderbolt. I got Rillaboom, who could knock off, and Rotom could just Volt Switch and get me more momentum and give me a proper switch back into this Slowbro. That's if it doesn't die. But I end up going with Rillaboom because most likely he is going to switch, and here's my opportunity to knock off an item off of somebody on his team. So I come in, Grassy Surge, get all that green grass all over the field, and I go for my knockoff. Hopefully I catch something good on the switch. So, as predicted, he switches, but in comes Clefable, who will sponge this knockoff like there was nothing. So I knock off its leftovers, so I limit its recovery. And since these Clefables normally carry sometimes Teleport, Wish, a lot of sportive moves, I decide to go for the taunt straight off the bat. So I go for my taunt, and he actually comes out attacking, as you will see. He goes for the Moonblast, not deciding to waste any time at all, deciding to go straight to get some damage done. So here I decide, okay, he's playing offensively. Let me get out of here, and I will go and see which would be the better choice, either Rotom or Jirachi, or even Togekiss, because Togekiss is actually bulky, but I end up going with Rotom because it resists. And I get in here, and his Moonblast actually comes in, and as you will see, it drops my special attack. So that was bad for me. Not so bad, but Rotom already doesn't have that much special attack investment, so that was actually hurtful to us. So we get out of there with a Volt Switch and decide to bring in Jirachi. Specs Jirachi, trying something different. He goes to the Moonblast again and actually gets the special attack twice in a row. Well, Jesus, I see what you're doing. But anyways, as the grass disappears, I decide to go for a U-turn because I know probably might switch, predicting the steel move. I should have probably went Thunderbolt, because if I went Thunderbolt, I would have caught the slow roll on the switch and done some decent damage. But instead, we U-turn and we get out of here. Now, looking at my team, I have multiple choices. I could go back into Rotom, Volt Switch. I could go into Togekiss, set up a Wish, and slowly work it down with Air Slash. I could go right back into Rillaboom, but then I'd take that Rocky Helmet damage. So decisions. I end up just going back into Rotom for the Volt Switch on the Slowbro. So I go for my Volt Switch. He's probably expecting it, thinking what shall he do next, and as you see, switches, expecting the Volt Switch. But here now, that gives me the opportunity to come in with something that could easily take this on. So I decide here I go out into my Togekiss. I could have went Mammoth, but I decided to go Togekiss and either set up a Wish, or I went for Dazzling Gleam. Oh yes, I went for Dazzling Gleam, hoping that maybe he was one of those spec sets and he would try to get some damage, but probably decided in his best interest to get out there and U-turn, and in comes his Magnezone. I should have expected this, but I wasn't thinking on that at the time, because I could have went Flamethrower. But anyways, I went with Dazzling Gleam, and that did a decent chunk. Nothing too much to speak about, but chip is chip. Chip is chip. So we switch back into Rotom, because Rotom resists both of this thing's stab. And then we can decide what to do from there. So in comes Rotom, goes for the Flash Cannon, which will do nothing. Look at it. That was nothing. And we decide, okay, we're probably gonna switch out fearing the overheat. But just in case I'm not playing any mind games, I decided to go for it straight off. Should probably do Volt Switch, but that was some good chip anyway. So I decide back out into Togekiss area. And he's probably thinking what to do now. Back into Togekiss we go. Could easily chunk any hit that this thing throws at us, and he just U-turns again. If I stayed in and went for the Volt Switch, I would have been at the advantage because he's faster and would have gotten switch priority. But then here comes this threat. This actually ended up being the bane of my existence with this whole match, because this thing was just hard to switch into. At the end of the match, he actually revealed that it was actually specs. So that was a threat the whole match. For the whole match, this thing was just a constant pain in my side. So I come in with Swine, knowing he's going to switch. I was hoping not to overpredict, but knowing he was going to switch, I come in with Swine and I go for Stealth Rocks. Get my rocks up, because some rocks is better than no rocks, and even late rocks is better than no rocks at all. Then I switch back into Jirachi and come swinging out again. So in comes my Jirachi on the Scar. This does a decent amount of damage and it doesn't get the burn, thankfully. And I decide to go for my Thunderbolt. It's probably thinking this is a cleric Jirachi or maybe a physical Jirachi, so he isn't too much threatened by it. But as you can see, the Thunderbolt catches him and does a good chunk of damage. Goes for the Thunder Wave and misses. The change to Thunder Wave to me was one of the best things they could have done, because sometimes that 100% accuracy on Thunder Wave was basically a game changer back in the day. You just stun the wave somebody and then you pray for hacks. But this 90% accuracy thing is much more bearable, because at least then they have a chance to miss. So in comes his Cinderace. Knowing this thing, I literally don't have any switches to this thing, so I just end up deciding to stay in and just sack my Jirachi here, because there's nothing I could switch into that will literally stay and take 2 hits, and it's basically faster than everything on my team since I do not have a Scarfer. So he comes out, Pyro Ball, and takes down my Jirachi. Bye bye Jirachi, thank you. You helped out. So in comes Mamasu. So he's probably thinking, okay, maybe this thing is scarfed or what, but I just come out swinging and I go straight for the Earthquake and leave him up to his own devices. So he goes for the U-turn, and look at this damage. Look at that damage. Libero was like the best thing they could have done to Cinderace. I can only imagine if Greninja came back, what the usage would be, because then you have 2 very strong starters with similar abilities, and it would have been a very hard to separate the 2. Might have ended up seeing both of them on the same teams. So anyway, in comes Clefable, taking a good chunk from the Earthquake, and I just decided to go straight for another Earthquake and get this thing off of the field. So that probably shows me that was not a defensive Clefable. I usually run a defensive Clefable because max defense Clefable, especially the unaware one, that actually helps you counter things like Dragon Dance, Dragon Dance, Gyarados, Halucha. It helps to counter a lot of the major physical threats in the OU tier. So when we come back, switch out and get into Togekiss. Togekiss takes this Pyro Ball to the face and eats it. And here I'm thinking, okay, what should I do? He's definitely going to switch. So I decided to double out back into Rotom. Hopefully I get a good switch initiative on him. But he goes for the U-turn instead of hard switching, which was probably good on his part, so now he actually gets the switch initiative on me. So let's see what he brings in now. So in comes his own Urshifu, and as we know, this thing is just a pain to deal with. I should have probably switched to Rillaboom here. Do I? I can't remember. Yes, I don't think I did. I think I ended up just sacking because I didn't want to switch into Rillaboom and take 2 Wicked Blows, because remember, Wicked Blow always crits, and the chances of me surviving 2 might have been low. But thinking about it now, I should have just doubled back into Togekiss, because Togekiss could have taken the hit without much pressure. But bad play on my part, and I go back into Togekiss and I decide to get a Wish Up. Should probably put Protect on this set. I don't have Protect, and that's, as you're going to see, will be bad for me, because with Protect I could have scouted what move he was going to use, but instead I decided, okay, he's probably going to go, I was hoping he'd go for the electric move, and I switch into my Rillaboom. But as you can see, this thing hits like a truck. Rillaboom is not even going to stand a chance here, and I lose my Rillaboom to a Flash Cannon. So unfortunate for me, I'm down 1 more man, and it's not looking too well, at all. So here I come back into Urushifu, the bandit boy, with 3 minutes left on the clock, and I'm just going to go. I think I'm going to go for the surging strikes, since there's nothing on his team that resists my stab water move. So I come out swinging, go for surging strikes. In comes Dragapult on the hard switch. Takes damage from rocks, and it has no chance of living this banded surging strike attack. So down goes Dragapult. I get back a little bit of HP from the grassy terrain, and as you will see, that actually comes in handy, because maybe I would have died to one of his moves, but the slight recovery from the grassy terrain actually helped me out a bit. So in comes his Cinderace now, and he's going to go and reveal that he has Zen Headbutt. But Zen Headbutt doesn't do enough to KO. As I say, I live with 24 HP, and then I come out swinging with another surging strikes and get that good critical hit damage 3 times, and Cinderace is down for the count. That was actually a close one, because if I would have died, that would have been it. That would have been game, and I would have definitely lost. So now he brings in his own Urushifu, and here's where I start playing for the timer, because now it's 3-2 and 30 seconds on the timer. I might as well just switch and wait it out. So I switch into Mamoswine, and he actually lives. I was wondering if he would have went for his dark move. He should have probably went for his dark move, but then I end up just switching back into Togekiss and calling that a day. So I take the win due to timer after eating this Zen Headbutt at 3-2. It was definitely a good match. I made a few misplays. My opponent played very well, and as you can see, this guy plays at a very high level. He's a very good player, and he's a very good guy on Discord as well. So shout out to Google Shop. Good game, my friend, and we'll see you in the next one.